The situation is that under this constitution, Nigeria has become a criminal enterprise. The Nigeria that we're discussing now is not the one we have now, imposed by brigandage, is no longer Nigeria the Federation to which our fathers committed in Lancaster House. It's no longer Nigeria the secular state, which we thought we were building together. It's no longer the Nigeria that held a lot of prospects, Nigeria the Federation. Nigeria that emerged since the truncation of that federal arrangement is a totally different Nigeria. That Nigeria, I can tell you authoritatively, is a rogue state. And the international stakeholders are already pointing it out and saying it loudly to their hearing that they are now a satellite operational theater for international terror networks. ISIS came in 2014, we saw it. And so that Nigeria, the Nigeria we have now, defined by this 1999 constitution, is the one they call one Nigeria. Nigeria is different from one Nigeria. That Fulani worldwide interest that Colonel Nyam talked about is a Nigeria, the Nigeria they call one Nigeria. Anybody who is rooting for one Nigeria is actually saying, I want the Nigeria that belongs to the Fulani exclusively. I want the Nigeria that all our assets are owned by people who came from afar. I want that Nigeria in which those people from that one section can kill off other people. That's what they're saying without knowing it. So one Nigeria is Nigeria that belongs exclusively to Fulani. The choice to be made now is whether we want to stay in that one Nigeria and perish, or all of us who are faced by that existential threat can act together to pull back our signature from the document by which we are being enslaved and now exterminated. The situation now is that the union we agreed to have been overtaken by another entity altogether, in which people who say they are born to rule us, people who say they have conquered us, people who say we cannot be in a union of equal partnership. We had when El-Rufai, said that publicly, that we cannot expect to be in a union of equal partnership. We saw the governor in Bauchi State telling us that Fulani from all over Africa belong here. We saw Muhammad Buhari, Fulani man, throwing our borders open, and we saw how the Fulani poured in from everywhere. They are here now. We've seen the activities all around our forests. El-Rufai had confessed that he went to 14 different countries to give them money to stop coming to kill. The president himself had said in a foreign media chat that the people coming to do these things come from outside. The Fulani that are coming to kill people here come from outside. But you compromise our sovereignty by throwing the borders open to welcome them without documentation. Beyond that, at the time the killings first began and the governor in Benue had gone to complain that strangers were foreigners, were coming, Fulani herdsmen, they called themselves, just heavily armed Fulani militia, were killing people in Benue. Buhari told him to go home and learn how to live in peace with the Fulani of Benue. The Minister for Defense at the time turned around again to say, oh, all of you who built our developments on all the cattle grazing routes are the ones causing the problem. You have to remove those developments so that cattle can move freely. If you don't remove them, well, you have to contend with the cattle. The Minister of Defense, who was supposed to be coordinating what will happen to save the people who have been killed, the IG of police, of the Inspector General of Police at the time, turned around to say, oh, all of you who who passed anti-open grazing laws, the states that say that cattle cannot be allowed to be roaming all over the place and people being killed because cows go to farms to eat up farms and the crops, and people say no, and then it becomes a fight, and then AK-47 turn up from everywhere, and soldiers and policemen are always on the side of those invaders. The governors, especially in Kaduna, always on the side of those invaders. We go from there to where the spokesman of the president, Femi Adesina, declared in the midst of that commotion that it is better for people to give up their lands and save their lives. Put all of it together and you see what emerges. That constitution is responsible for what is happening, and those who have been killed, who now realize that their signature have been used to validate the instrument by which they are being oppressed, by which they are being eliminated, cooperating as a Nigerian Indigenous Nationalities Alliance for Self-Determination, NINAS. Having done all of what was democratically possible to invite discussions that will have solved this problem, since after 1967 discussion in Aburi and all the other attempts to call the matter to be discussed, which were blocked by the same people who imposed this unitarism. And so finally, having also gone out in solemn assemblies, you saw the one in Port Harcourt on the 27th of April in 2015. They went out in a solemn assembly of the peoples of the Lower Niger. People can Google this, people can get on YouTube. Just type solemn assembly of the peoples of the Lower Niger in Port Harcourt. You will see where they declared that they were not going to condone that constitution any further. You saw where the Yoruba did the same thing on the, I think it was on the 7th of September in 2017 at Adama Sigma Stadium in Ibadan. Their governors were all there, and the traditional institutions and political leaders in a solemn assembly telling the whole world that Yoruba will no longer accept this constitution as basis of union with anybody else. On the 18th of July in 2018, the Middle Belt did the same in Makurdi. And so, having all repudiated that constitution democratically, having all rejected that constitution as basis of further electoral business, they gathered, on the 11th of December in 2018 in Lagos, in what they called Freedom Park Proclamation, to say they were now going to insist that no further elections can be anchored on that constitution. It is the enforcement of that decision that was commenced on the 16th of December in 2020 by the Constitutional Force Majeure Proclamation, declaring a union dispute around this subject of whether we have made any constitution and whether we are still in the union, and giving a 90-day notice of constitutional grievances that must now be settled, since it has become a matter of life and death.